Twice a day, Bandit would walk his dog, bag up its poop, and throw it directly onto the old man's roof. This went on so long that the man eventually lost the will to try to remove it all. For a whole year, Bandit made his life hell, coating his roof in an ever-building mountain of stinky dog dew. It was glorious. Eventually, Bandit had to move, but to this day, he still heads back every few months to top up the dew.
Hey y'all, what is up? What is good? Go Squad, how are y'all doing? Today, Black Ghost Face is here to do the next part of Extreme Stories of Revenge that went too far. New part, huh? Hey, it may be an endless part of this, but hey, I can't wait to find out which one is actually extreme that went too far, because some or most is probably just average, but like I said in the old previous one, if it's extreme where it involves someone actually like getting killed or setting a house on fire but they managed to escape, then yes, sure, that's, kind of going too far. But we'll be jumping into the next part of this, y'all. Enjoy. Also, stay tuned for this weekend that I'm going to be streaming The Incredible Hulk and Fazbear and Friends shorts on my Unison channel. And also a new series of gaming is going to be coming up, y'all, where I going to be playing scary games. This series is called It. If you want to see me play scary games, y'all, hey, you know where to find me. But let's dive in.
From sadistic sandwiches to burning buildings, prepare yourself for some more sordidly sumptuous schadenfreude as we take a look at even more extreme stories of revenge that went too far.
Yep, let's see. Let's see if it's going to be more than one extreme moment.
A secret snip.
Too far.
Reddit user A Quiet Borderline posted a diabolical story shared with them by their late friend, who we'll call Nina. Nina was an only child with two loving parents, but they'd had such a difficult pregnancy that her dad had chosen to get a vasectomy after she was born. For a time, everything was great. And then when Nina was in college, her mom was diagnosed with extremely aggressive ovarian cancer. You'd think her husband would be as supportive as he could, right? About that. While her mom slowly decayed in a hospital bed, her dad started an affair with a coworker, one that was only a few years older than Nina. Ew. We'll call her Stacy. Stacy began grafting herself into Nina's family like a parasite, staying at the house, shopping for them, and even sitting with Nina's mom at the hospital. Then after Nina's mom tragically passed away, Stacy moved into the house. Nina knew that her dad had been cheating, and that Stacy had been a lying, two-faced rat to her mother in her last days. Understandably, she was furious, but rather than confront them, she hatched a devilish plan. See, Stacy was desperate to have kids one day, and had spoken about it numerous times. Because of this, Nina realized her dad couldn't have told her about the vasectomy, and as the years rolled on, it became clear he had no intention to. So, Nina played the long game. She pretended to be happy when Stacy and Dad announced their engagement, acted like a true friend to Stacy, and didn't say a word about her dad's snip for decades. But when she eventually got married and had kids of her own, she noticed the pained look on Stacy's face and couldn't help but smile. Then during one of their girl days, Nina found her moment. Stacy was distraught, confiding in Nina how much she'd always wanted children, but no matter how hard they'd tried, it never happened. Now she was entering menopause, so her chance was gone forever. Nina sat there straight-faced and said, "What, Dad didn't tell you?" Then proceeded to reveal to her the devastating secret she'd kept concealed for her whole life: her dad's vasectomy. The fallout was beyond explosive. Stacy was distraught, angry, and broken, and immediately filed for divorce. Nina had no sympathy. This woman had integrated herself into her dying mom's life as she was being intimate with her husband. She cut both her and her furious father out of her life and never looked back. Cockroach chaos.
Okay, that one, the fact that she did play the long game, she made it to where until you got old enough to where you can't get kids now I'm going to tell you, and knowing the fact that I'm a mother and you're not a mother, and my dad never told you that he got a vasectomy? I mean, you would think that all the times that y'all got intimate, it never occurred to you that I'm not pregnant yet. Hey, dear, are you shooting blanks? I mean, you would think that, right? You would think that you want to get, and you know the thing about it is, I mean, okay, you wanted kids of your own, but it could have been to where, instead of that situation, I could just adopt a kid, go to a foster home and adopt a child, you know what I mean? To where you may not be my kid, but by blood, but you're still my kid. So I mean, wow, that was the waiting game. She waited years. I give her that. But
I'm a tough guy, but I do have one weakness.
No.
Bugs. So this next submission from a viewer I'll call Billy made me pee my pants. Billy was a student at the time, and school was organizing a classroom sleepover. The day of the sleepover, he turned up with his pal Kev, who'd brought along a special teddy bear that meant a lot to him. Only thing was, someone else had their eye on the teddy. A bully I'll call Grunkle waited for everyone to leave the classroom before slithering over, picking up the beloved bear, and ripping it in two. Naturally, Kev was distraught. Sure, he could buy a new one, but it wouldn't be the same. Following the heartbreaking incident, the teacher checked the CCTV footage and learned the sorry truth. Shamed, Grunkle was suspended for 3 days. All's well that ends well, right? Wrong.
That ain't
See,
enough.
over those 3 days, Kev's parents got angry. Really angry. More needed to be done. So, before school one day, they beckoned their son over and gave him some very specific instructions. He was to place a plastic container inside Grunkle's locker. But not just any old container. One filled with cockroaches. Nervous but excited, Kev took the container and planted it where his parents had told him to. Later that day, when the bully noticed the strange container, curiosity got the better of him, and he cracked it open, only to be utterly covered in an army of cockroaches. With a blood-curdling scream, he ran from the room. Poor old Kev was suspended for a month, but Billy reckons it was worth it. And I have to agree with him.
That would be kinda extreme, kinda not. I mean, okay, there's extreme and there's extreme that went too far. I would say that was kinda extreme. I mean, if you're afraid of bugs or have maybe bug phobia, then yeah, that would be extreme to you. But woo, cockroaches though? Ooh, boy. We all know we hate things that's crawling on our skin at the speed of sound. Oh man, you just imagine you feel 100 little bitty legs crawling on you at the same time. Oh man, you would have been doing a fire dance.
Great halls of fire. Sometimes revenge isn't the answer. I know. But if your target is a deranged psycho, things can escalate quickly. The viewer named Jessica found this out the hard way back in 2022. She'd just bought her first home, a lovely little cottage, and invited her childhood friend Angie over. The pair reminisced about their childhood and remembered their old bully, Harper. Harper had made their lives hell, and they'd always dreamed of enacting sweet revenge on her. Well, there and then, they decided to make good on that dream. Electing to keep their payback small so they didn't start a war, they snuck over to Harper's house, toilet papered her roof, and placed some creepy gnomes in her garden. Ha, a reasonable amount of payback for a childhood bully, right? Well, apparently Harper didn't think so. That night, Jessica was awoken by a loud knock at her door. Half asleep and afraid, she got up with a broom in one hand, her cell in the other, and opened the door to find nothing. Slowly, she stepped outside to investigate, but couldn't see anything. Then the uneasy silence was broken by the piercing sound of her smoke alarm. Jessica sprinted back inside to find no other than Harper stood there with a box of matches and a can of gasoline. She must have snuck in after Jessica left the house. Instinctively, Jessica grabbed Harper and sprinted outside just before her cottage exploded into flames. Jeez. That's what I call psycho behavior. Just a shame it was was the bad guy that came out on top. If you love the sweet smell of revenge,
that's
why not
extreme.
treat yourself to our brand new revenge poster? See what forms
That's
of
extreme.
potent payback you
You,
can spot around
Frank,
Vengeance
my
Village,
house?
with more than 70 of our
I'm gonna
best true
retaliate
stories.
stronger.
From poop deliveries to bug-filled bags, they're all
No.
here. Heck, you can even get a
You
few
burned my
ideas yourself.
house?
So, what are you waiting for?
Oh,
Head over to the
boy.
description and
Put spiders
click on
all
our
in your
store.
house.
Or scan the QR code on screen right now to grab one. Now, back to
Wow.
more epic revenge.
That's
Slot machine mayhem.
That's extreme.
Gambling is addictive, destructive, and can cause irrevocable damage to your bank account. So it's only natural to feel a little salty after losing, right? Well, in Italy in 2013, a man named Nurabregu headed to a bar to try his luck on the slot machines. He lost, then lost again, then lost a whole lot more. Before he
Gambling
realized
addiction.
it, he had no cash left. In fact, bystanders heard him muttering that he'd lost a crippling $5,500 in the last 2 weeks. Holy cow. Blinded with rage, Nura stormed out of the bar. The other patrons carried on with their day as normal, but then unexpectedly, Nura returned. And this time, he was brandishing a friggin' axe. Enraged, the man leapt into a frenzy, smashing and slashing his way through 7 different slot machines, like some kind of gambler berserker. Then, his lust for revenge satiated, he clambered over the wreckage of his foes, gave a thumbs up, and waited calmly out front for the cops to arrive. What a king. As far as I'm concerned, those slots had it coming.
I'm ready. Are you serious? I mean, so not only I took down my enemies, now I am ready. Yep, come on. That's right. Yep. Hey, officer. Hey, listen. I took down my nemesis, and I am happy to be taken away. Sweep me off my feet and throw me into the cell. You lost. Whose fault is that, though? That's your fault. You have a gambling addiction, and you lost literally like a whole monthly worth of savings in weeks, and now you're mad and you want to go at the machines that you lost to. Just going to. He brought an axe. He brought a legit axe. I mean, in broad daylight. I can understand, okay, sure, you're doing it at nighttime like a typical, thief and all that, but an axe? Really? I was thinking he may gonna maybe take one of the machines and get his money back or something, but no. He said, this is personal. You ruined me. Wow. I ain't gonna lie, if he was going to get someone and, chopping them up, that would have been extreme. That would have went too far. But this one, I would just say not extreme, but I think you're going a little too far. Just a little too far.
Sandwich Slayer.
Sandwich
If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Don't mess with a man's lunch.
Exactly.
A viewer that we'll call Gareth wrote in to tell me a story of lunchtime evil that'll make your skin crawl. And if you've got a tale of revenge you'd like to share, send me an email at revenge@beamazed.com.
I want
can
you
make
to
it
send
into
me
the
a
next
video.
just like our boy Gareth. See, every day, Gareth would bring a homemade sandwich to school. And every day, a bully, who we'll call Bob, would yank the sandwich out of the guy's hands, eat it in front of him, and laugh. Sacrilege. Well, one day, something snapped inside Gareth. It was one stolen Sammy too far. That night, when making his sandwich, he made some little adjustments.
I'm not gonna do nothing about
Gone were
it.
the tomatoes, the lettuce, and the cheese. In their place was a brand new, the secret ingredient that Bob was sure to love. The next day, lunchtime rolled around, and sure enough, there was Bob, lumbering over
Bob.
like some hideous sandwich goblin. But he wasn't going to get away with it this time. As usual, the bully snatched the sandwich from our hero's hands, and without looking at it, took a big old bite. With a smug grin on his face, he chomped and chewed until he tasted something decidedly not delicious. Blood. Suddenly realizing his mouth was in agony, Bob spat out the sandwich and opened wide to inspect what he'd just eaten. His mouth was filled with sharp thumbtacks. Big Bob was rushed to the ER, and although he suffered no lasting injuries, he learned a valuable lesson. Don't mess with Gareth. And I hope this goes without saying, y'all, but while Gareth's revenge here may taste sweet, don't go feeding anybody tacks, or anything else sharp for that matter. It's an incredibly dangerous thing to do and could cause serious injury, if not death.
Well, maybe that wouldn't happen if someone didn't take my sandwich. And not just take my sandwich, you're gonna eat it in front of me and mock me? Like, I'm not gonna do nothing about it? Okay. I mean, it could have been worse. You know what I mean? I could have put maggots in that bad boy, you know what I mean? Woo! Put some cheese, you know what I mean? Put some maggots in there, put cheese on top of that, and there you go. Bon appetit.
Billboard Blues. Cheaters are the lowest of the low. Anybody that'd be unfaithful to a partner deserves everything they get. Just ask Michelle, the friend of a viewer. Michelle was head over heels for her husband, Mike, and the pair had been perfectly happy for 8 magical years.
At least,
that's what Michelle thought. One day, she returned home from work to find a very pregnant woman eating chips on her couch.
Yeah, very pregnant. She got... What?
Mike explained that the woman was named Jessica. She was pregnant with his child, and they decided to be together. As if that wasn't terrible enough, the two had also decided that it was best if they live there, in the home Michelle shared with Mike, while she should go back to her mom's house. Distraught and defeated, our girl packed her bags, left the house, and drove to her mother's. But the shock and sadness quickly subsided and was replaced by a white-hot rage that consumed her entire being. How dare she treat her like that? They'd been together 8 years, and that was how it ends? No, not that easily. So the next day, she got to work on a plot that would destroy their newfound bliss. First things first, she ran to the bank to freeze the joint account she shared with Mike. Then, while the adulterous pair were out, she hired a locksmith to change all the locks on the house. At the same time, she had movers grab all her belongings right down to the toilet paper. Then it was time for the final step. Michelle sent out dozens of invitations to a surprise party at the house the next day to celebrate Mike's new life. And to make sure the party got the attention it deserved, she also took out a huge billboard on the front lawn. Yes, you heard that right. It scathingly read, "Congratulations on leaving me for your pregnant lover, Mike. I hope the baby doesn't inherit your infidelity. Burn." Then she went back to her mom's place and waited. The next night, Mike called right on cue. He screamed, demanding to know what was going on. Why were there so many people outside the house? What's with the incriminating billboard? Why can't he open the front door? With a smirk a mile wide, Michelle calmly explained that the house is actually in her name, so she can do whatever she wants with it. Then, just as they'd done to her, she recommended the unfaithful pair go and stay with Jessica's mother instead, and promptly put the house up for sale, leaving them with nothing. But if you thought that was the end, think again. She even went so far as to hire someone dressed as a pregnant woman to deliver the divorce papers.
Stop! He's already dead.
So let's get this straight. Mike had no home and barely any money now that he couldn't access their joint account. But at least he still had Jessica, right? Well, in one final twist to the tale, Michelle received a phone call from her. Sobbing, she apologized for her actions, lamenting that Mike had no means of supporting her now, and she still had a baby on the way. It wasn't looking good for their newfound relationship. Michelle simply informed her that the circus is always looking for new members and hung up, utterly savage.
Yeah. Okay, that one was pretty extreme, I would say. She ruined his life. So froze the account, changed all the locks to his house, made a billboard to where just embarrassment, told all the people to just, hey, come on to his house and celebrate, new life and all. Oh boy, like not only you lost your crib, you lost your money because it's frozen, because you shared it with me. And that's the thing too. So you didn't think far ahead to realize that, well, since I'm cheating on my wife, let me go ahead and remove her from my account. Because, since we share it and all, let me go ahead and do that before she realizes that, oh, I'm cheating on her. But no, he's just so focused on the fact that he got another woman pregnant, and by the size of her stomach, look like there's about at least 3 kids in there and a table where they're playing cards or something, Uno probably, and just disregarded that. The wife I've been with for 8 years. Is there anything I'm forgetting? What's important right now? Oh well, I'm sure she won't notice it, but no. Only thing he's left with is the woman that he got pregnant, and now she doesn't want to be with him. Like, bro, she made him hit rock bottom. Extreme? Yes. Too far? It's up there. It's up there.
Extra tenants. A longtime viewer of the channel called Salman is a landlord and started to rent out his property to a young man we'll call Derek. Derek seemed like an upstanding young bachelor, so Salman initially felt good about the arrangement. However, it quickly became apparent that he was actually a total nightmare. He drank and smoked heavily and would smash all the glass bottles on the floor and leave cigarette butts everywhere. As well as the immediate mess, the walls became stained and the whole place fell into disarray. On top of this, he routinely claimed he didn't have enough money for rent and refused to pay on time. Right. And I suppose all those bottles of booze and packs of ciggies were charitable donations then. As the months dragged on and nothing changed, Salman knew he had to do something. So our landlord lad had a devilish idea. One thing he knew for certain about the terrible tenant was that he was deathly afraid of rodents. With this in mind, our guy took a trip to a local pet store and picked up around 24 mice. Then he informed his tenant that he'd be heading into the property to fix some water pipes. In reality, the only thing he'd be fixing was Derek's attitude. Salman hid mice all over the place, then got out of there and waited for the fireworks. Sure enough, he had a call from Derek the next day. Between the high-pitched shrieking, Salman deciphered that his tenant was demanding he do something about the rat infestation. With a chuckle, our man replied he couldn't get rid of the rats because Derek was one himself, so it wouldn't be fair. Following this, Salman made Derek hand over his keys and he fled the place, never to return. And Salman may not have gotten the rent he was owed, but I'm sure those panicked yelps helped lessen the blow.
Yep, you lousy bum.
Ant agonized. Oh boy, an even worse story about lunch thieves getting what they deserve? Coming right up. Back in 6th grade, a viewer named Dojitha had a bully who, say it with me, stole his lunch every day. Well, one day after getting home from school, our fella decided to make a very special sandwich for him to steal. See, his brother kept an ant farm. Surely he wouldn't miss it.
Is it fire ants?
So, Dojitha grabbed some of the creepy crawlies and dumped them into his usual sandwich before wrapping the whole thing in saran wrap and putting it in his lunchbox. The next day, the obvious happened. Bully boy snagged the sandwich, tore open the saran wrap, and chowed down on the stolen snack. At first, he cackled in Dojitha's face, but his expression quickly changed when his tongue started to go numb. Yep, the ants. They were crawling all over his tongue and inside his mouth, viciously biting every bit of flesh they could in a horrific, painful dance.
Am I right?
Bursting into tears, he sprinted out of the room. Fantastic.
Can't handle the healthy parts of it? Now that's extreme. That is what I call extreme. I mean, hey, you already heard what I'll do if you took my meal. Promise you right now, you see me eating again, you don't want to take it. You don't even want to look over here. You know what I mean? You don't even want to come over here. Because you never know. Hey, bon appetit. Go ahead. Got a sandwich for you. You don't want it? Why? You ate it yesterday. You don't want to eat it again? I mean, I'm about to put ants in there. Hey, I'll tell you. Maggots, cockroaches, spiders. You know what I mean? Hey, I could name a lot of insects I could put in a meal and I would gladly give it to you. I mean, hey, sharing is caring, right? If you hungry, I'll be glad to give you a sandwich that I made. I would. I mean, if you hungry, I got some extra protein, extra vitamins in there. Make you all big and strong. It's a little spicy, but don't worry. You're going to feel it. All of it. But this kid, though, I approve this kid. I approve.
Sweet dreams. I'm sure you've seen those memes about falling asleep first at the sleepover, right? Well, a viewer named Lee experienced
Dude
it
got
in
violated
real
by
life. You see, when he was
tattoos.
14, he became fast friends
Got
with a boy
raped by
named Zach.
markers.
The duo was inseparable. And one night, Lee invited Zach over for a sleepover. They had a great time, laughing, playing games, and eating snacks until they
Got
eventually
chips
settled
and
down to
soda,
sleep.
cool.
Lee nodded off quickly, tuckered out from an amazing day. But when he woke up, something felt off. Then, with horror, he realized his
Whoa!
head was stuck to his pillow. Turns out,
Bubblegum.
while he was sleeping, Zach had chewed what seemed to be an entire pack of bubble gum and covered his hair in it. Now, Lee had long hair, so all that gum was incredibly painful to try and get out. Yet his house guest only leapt up and started
bubblegum.
cackling with laughter, shouting, "Gotcha!" But Lee didn't see the
Gotcha?
funny side. His hair was in such an awful state that it needed to be entirely shaved. Clearly, Zach had different ideas about what was and wasn't reasonable friend behavior. So around a week later, when he asked to come over for a second sleepover, Lee was eager to give him a taste of his own medicine. Like before, the two had a grand old evening before going into bed. This time, Lee waited for Zach to fall asleep
Look like a
before
serial
sneaking
killer.
outside into the neighbor's yard, who he knew owned 2 big dogs. Then he saw what he was looking for, an absolute ton of gross, stinking dog dookie. He carefully slipped it into a bag, then quietly ran back home and placed the stinky treasure on Zach's pillow, just in time to watch him roll over into it. The forbidden chocolate pudding went everywhere. His hair, his face, inside his mouth. As soon as that happened, Lee's poopy pal shot upright with an ear-splitting scream. I can only imagine what was going through his mind. Zach rushed into the bathroom to clean the sloppy excrement from his
What's
face
wrong?
and mouth, then called his dad to pick him up. Safe to say the
I thought you
friendship
liked
was
jokes.
officially over. Not that Lee cared.
So wait, so you prank me and it's all fun and games. But when I prank you back, we're not friends anymore? Oh, boo-hoo! What will I ever do with my life now that I lost my friend? Like, you kidding me? You ruined my hair. You put, whatever happened to, I don't know, maybe a water balloon or the white powder? Sure, okay, hee ha ha. But you gonna put bubble gum? Chewed bubble gum. In fact, you put your disgusting bacteria on my hair and my face and laugh like, ha, gotcha. Yuck, I got him, guys. And I end up shaving the whole hair off. And now I look like I got, never gonna joke about that, but I look like I'm a serial killer. I look like a serial killer. Come on, man. You used to recognize me with hair, but imagine me walking at night with no hair. You're like, wonder, who is that? But the fact that he got him back with doo-doo, that's, I mean, I would say extreme, but I wouldn't say going too far. I wouldn't say, can you say going too far? Knowing that you, oh man, going too far. I mean, dog doo-doo and going all in the mouth too? Wow. Imagine the minerals on that when he tasted that, right? Taste bud. Woo! Sensitive, right? I don't know. I don't know if I could probably say going too far. I could. I mean, you putting dog doo-doo instead of like maybe something like a pie or something. I don't know. I don't do pranks like this, so I don't know. But I don't know. I might say probably going too far.
Fishy behavior. I always keep my promises. You never know what consequences there could be otherwise. Just ask this next guy.
Still
Over in
thinking, this is
Indonesia,
extreme?
TikToker Mia Zahira
Yeah.
had been badgering
Yeah.
her husband for the longest time to clean his damn fish tank. See, if he didn't do it, she'd be forced to. Despite promising countless times, though, he never bothered to follow through with it. Day after day, he ignored her, and day after day, her resentment grew. Until one day, she
So,
just had enough. If
you
he
don't wanna
wasn't going to
clean your
clean out
fish
his
tank?
own fish tank, he clearly really didn't care about keeping the fish. It was time to act. One evening, Mia served her husband dinner as always, only this time it came with a twist. Just as he was about to tuck in, he noticed the fried fish on his plate was identical to one of the ones he owned. He gasped. Surely it wasn't. But yes, it was. As well as doing the dirty deed in the first place, Mia had documented the whole cooking process on her TikTok account, showing off her brutal revenge to the world. And if this wasn't bad enough, the fish was an arowana, a species that can cost up to $300,000. Jeez, that's one expensive dinner. I can't help but feel like there were other ways of going about this than burning hundreds of thousands of dollars and killing a living being, but hey, it'd be far more boring.
Wow.
50-50.
Not
Trust
extreme.
me, divorce
It's
isn't
not
easy.
extreme.
When the law gets involved, it makes a
fish,
heartbreaking
though. I ain't gonna lie.
situation even more difficult. I mean, how the heck are you supposed to divide all your stuff up? Well, if you're anything like a German YouTube user Martin, the answer is excessively. In 2015, he uploaded a video to the site entitled For Laura, thanking her for 12 years together and sarcastically wishing his successor luck. The implication is that Laura cheated on him. Ouch. The rest of the video consists of Martin sawing all of the possessions he shared with Laura perfectly in half. Not the TV. What did it ever do to him? Naturally, a video as crazy as this took the web by storm. Heck, a guy saws the family car in half and folks are gonna take notice. But I'm afraid this tale of post-matrial mayhem isn't all that it seems. Sadly, this is a job for Buzzkill Man. You see, the whole thing was actually a promotional campaign for a German law firm. It was just a way of poking fun at a real issue, divorce, and promoting their service as a more civilized solution. Well, that's something, but it doesn't change the fact that an innocent TV was sacrificed for this ad. Rest in peace, my friend. Bug bombardment. Oh my. Another story of lunch thievery. That's right, but I've saved the best for last. A viewer named Raphael told me about a school bully he encountered when he was just 6 years old. This bully, called Jacob, wouldn't just steal his lunches. He'd plunder his favorite toys, too. But when Raphael's then 16-year-old cousin found out what he'd been dealing with, he had a devious plan for payback. Big Cuz bought a jumbo-sized one of those surprise eggs that are usually filled with toys and candy, then went to the local pet shop and instead filled it with spiders, beetles, and all manner of other creepy crawlies. Then he gave it to Raphael to bring to school with him. Sure enough, the next day, Jacob immediately noticed the egg and tore it from Raphael's hands, expecting to find goodies inside. On opening it, however, he was met with unspeakable crawling horror. The bully screamed and recoiled, but the wildest part, perhaps in some kind of misguided attempt to get Raphael in trouble, he snapped the egg shut and brought it home to show his parents. You can see where this is going. In a genius move, our boisterous bully opened the egg and all those horrible insects burst forth from it. Dad apparently soiled himself, Mom jumped out of the window, and a whole house had to be quarantined while pest exterminators got rid of the insects. For 3 whole weeks, Jacob was out of school, and when he finally returned, he never stole anything from Raphael again. Man, that revenge must have really bugged him.
Bravo.
Poor doggy.
That was
Animal
extreme.
abuse is one of the lowest acts imaginable. So, when Redditor Balloon Knot Bandit stumbled across a thin, injured, flea-ridden dog shaking in the street, he was overcome with worry. Was it a stray? What the heck had happened to this little guy?
You would think it'd be a
He didn't have
stray.
to wait long to find out. The door of a nearby house opened, and an old man stepped out, calling to the dog. It was his. He demanded that it come back inside, but Bandit stood in the way and refused. He could only imagine how much abuse the poor thing had suffered. After an intense screaming match, Bandit picked up the poorly pup and raced home, where he fed and bathed it. He called it Sally, and from the way
Sally?
she ate her food, it was clear she was ravenous. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. The next day, he called animal control. After assessing the
What
situation, they heartbreakingly had to put her down. She was just too far gone. Bandit was devastated and furious. He needed to make sure that old man suffered for what he did to that poor animal, and he had just the idea. See, the man's house was on the same route he routinely walked his own dog. To begin with, he printed out flyers explaining exactly what the guy had done to poor Sally and put them all in the neighbors' mailboxes.
Okay.
And the fun began. Twice a day, Bandit would walk his dog, bag up its poop, and throw it directly onto the old man's roof. this went on so long that the man eventually lost the will to try to
like it's a
remove it all.
football.
For a whole year, Bandit made his life hell, coating his roof in an ever-building mountain of stinky dog dew. It was glorious. Eventually, Bandit had to move, but to this day, he still heads back every few months to top up the dew dog heap. Rest in peace, Sally. At least your honor went thoroughly avenged. Craving some sweet revenge? Grab your poster now and bring Vengeance Village home. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code.
Yo, that's the winner. I don't care. That's the winner. Bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yo, I don't care. That is the winner. That right there is the winner. Even though he's already moved out, your presence still there. Yeek! Go still make the house smell like crap. Nah. Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I'm like, yo, let me go to the dog pound real quick. Let me grab some Dobermans over there, some Rottweilers over there. Yeah, I'm gonna feed them. I'm gonna feed them well. Come on, boys. Come on, girls. Let me show you what you're going to eat today. This old man right there. Since you think animal cruelty is okie dokie, let me show you on opposite day. Let me show you how it is in the wild when you mess with a pack. Tell you. Hey, if it is called extreme and went too far, right? It would have shown him getting mauled by a pack of dogs. It would have shown that. But since he did it in a more mild way, I still accept that. I still do. But hey, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, y'all. If y'all want to stay tuned, stab the buttons down below and see the next video. Also, stay tuned, because today I'm going to be live watching Fazbear and Friends shorts, and I'm going to probably slip in the Incredible Hulk, because my new series of horror gaming is going to begin tomorrow, and I'm going to be playing a game to where me, a immersive gamer, going to be playing a game to where, yes, I will be scared, because for those of y'all that know me, I am a immersive individual. If I'm liking something, you already know I'm going to be in it all the way in. So if you want to see that, you already know where to see me play those games. Oh, joy, joy, joy. Especially when October's coming up too. Oh man, can you imagine the amount of games I'm going to be playing in October? But hey, so I'll be going down on Kick, gaming channel. Alright, like I said, if you request me, a game and all that, I'll be streaming that on my Unison. So hey, stay tuned for y'all. Stay tuned for the beginning of. But hope you have a good day, y'all. Stay safe, and I'll catch y'all later.